Hello ladies, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Aisha. I'm a certified trauma-informed coach and I am on a mission to help 1 million women become their most confident and successful selves with the use of law of assumption. If you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that button and tap the bell icon to be notified so you never miss out on powerful tips, inspiring stories, and essential guidance so that you too can manifest the life of your dreams. I did have a video recorded for today's Who Is She podcast episode. However, I really felt like this is the message everyone needs to hear today because it's definitely the message that I need to hear today. And that is to stop glorifying the struggle. Stop glorifying being busy. Stop glorifying overworking yourself. Stop trying to make it seem like you're working so hard and you're doing so many hard things, and stop wearing that as a badge of honor. I am doing some research for another video I'm going to do on money, manifesting money, finances. It's actually going to be integrated into the Cherry Blossom Challenge, by the way. And if you have not yet signed up for the challenge, I will pin the comment down below. It is a 13-day challenge. I have a word for every letter in the acronym Cherry Blossom that is related to law of assumption and manifestation that we're going to be tackling in 10-minute exercises. So it's going to be really informative. And I am going to touch on money a little bit during this challenge, but I really needed to hear this message today. And I actually realized a few days ago I was talking to my husband and I caught myself. You know, I have been home with our baby and, managing work and all of my other things. And I really, we were talking about my day and, I had felt a little bit stressed, a little bit dysregulated. And he's like, what do you even have to worry about, right? And he wasn't saying this from an antagonistic place. But I took it so hard. Because I felt as though he was trying to say I was doing nothing. And I know that that's not how he was coming across at all, but I took it that way and I realized, what was I defending in that moment? I was defending how hard I've been working. I was defending my struggle. I was glorifying my struggle instead of being in gratitude. And I realized what wound he was triggering is the fear of being lazy. And this comes from my childhood for sure. As many of you may know already, I have ADHD and I was not diagnosed until well into my adulthood. So as a child, I struggled with basic tasks. I struggled to keep my room tidy. I struggled to sit down and do my homework and things like that. And so I was labeled as a lazy kid, despite being a straight A student and having a very robust personality in terms of my energy and being excited about things. That label really stuck with me. And when someone is attempting to minimize my effort, I feel like that same little kid is being triggered and wants to defend the efforts that she did put, right? So if my mom was like, you didn't even clean your room, I'd be like, yeah, but I did the dishes and I sorted my laundry, and you know what I mean? I would justify and defend the effort that I did put in. And I just remember feeling this internal sense of, I'm doing so much already. I'm doing so much. How dare you not see my struggle? How dare you not see how hard I'm working, see how busy I've been with all these other tasks? And even as an adult, I've realized that this has been a habit. Thankfully, I'm aware of it now. And this is why in manifestation, we talk about awareness so much, because prior to me becoming aware of this pattern, of this habit of behavior, I could not reform the story. I could not write a new story if I don't know what the old story is saying. So now that I realize what I was doing, I'm realizing the impact that has had on my life, even in career and business. if I have a project at work and it's not getting done in a timely manner, my instinctual response, not even instinctual, my conditioned response is a more appropriate term, is to justify and defend how much effort I've put in, is to glorify the fact that I've been struggling, is to be like, I've been working so hard. And honestly, in this new chapter of my life, and I've been working on this since 2024, of healing my feminine energy in a way where I'm allowed to rest. I'm allowed to move slower. I don't have to hustle every day. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't still get things done. It just means I'm not going to stress myself about it. I am deprioritizing this hustle culture, and I'm no longer putting on a pedestal being busy. Busy. Everybody wants to say, oh, I'm busy. And the headspace that creates for you is not a healthy one, I don't believe. It makes you want to struggle more subconsciously, because the more that you struggle and the busier that you are and the more difficult your life is, the more you get to play that victim role of, but I'm working so hard, and the more reasons you have to defend that perspective. But what is it really doing for you? Is it helping you? Is it a good thing to be busy? Is it a good thing to justify your struggle? And I'm not saying that we shouldn't acknowledge when we're experiencing something hard. Trust me. Like having a baby, that's hard. Managing a business, that's hard. Trying to do that plus keep a marriage and be healthy, it's hard. It's not by any means an easy thing to manage multiple areas of life at the same time. And I completely understand that. However, it is also not healthy to be so in the struggle, to defend the struggle, even at your own expense. Because that's really what was happening to me, is this pattern of defending my efforts to avoid the shame associated with the label of lazy, or the feeling that I'm not doing enough, really is even tied deeper than that to, if you're not doing enough, it's because you're not being enough. And I know that so many of my clients come to my coaching sessions, request coaching, are asking, what do I do? And the problem is, it's not that you're not doing enough. You're already doing the techniques. It's that those techniques are not working for you because you still don't believe that you are enough. And when you know that you are enough, you no longer glorify the struggle, because it doesn't matter if you're busy or if you're free. It doesn't matter if you work hard or don't work hard. When you know you are worthy of something, it's not about the effort that you put into it. It will come to you regardless. And one thing that I have constantly harped on about is like my fitness journey. There were many chapters of my life through middle school, high school, and early college where I worked really hard to lose weight. I was strict with my diet. I made sure to drink enough water every day. I cut out caffeine for a while. I was vegan and vegetarian. I tried pescatarian. I went keto for a little bit in my early 20s. I worked out, 2 to 3 times a day when I was in college the first time. And I have gone through so many cycles of burning myself out, wearing myself thin. I pushed and I glorified the struggle to justify the result of losing weight. I believed losing weight was hard, so subconsciously, I made it hard for myself. I could only allow myself to believe it was possible to lose weight if I was working really hard at it. And when I changed my mindset about that, when I said, you know what, actually, I'm tired of the story that losing weight is hard. I'm so tired of the story that being healthy is hard. I'm tired of that. And you know what happens, especially with women, is like we'll get around our girlfriends. We'll be like, yeah, and I'm trying so hard. I have 10 more pounds to lose. And I've been doing all this. And they're like, oh, good for you. You're almost there. And they will cheer on your struggle. Like they will reinforce your struggle instead of saying, hey, babe, I think you're doing too much. I think maybe you should slow down. You look great. You're feeling healthy. Relax a little and allow yourself to be human. And like, I don't think many people have that type of friendship with people. And even I myself have been guilty of this, of reinforcing someone's struggle or reinforcing someone's hustle while they're growing and thinking that that's a good thing. And mind you, this is a very circumstantial topic. I'm not speaking broadly. Some people do need to kick it into gear and they do need to grind. There is a time to take more rapid action and there's a time to rest. There are ebbs and flows in this life, okay? But the overall idea that we have to wear our struggle like a badge of honor as opposed to embracing the abundance within us is really tragic. And it is ruining your manifestation. So if you feel like you're doing the techniques and the methods and it's still not here, and your internal monologue is saying you're not doing enough, you're not affirming enough, you're not visualizing deeply enough, you're not feeling it real enough, like all of the criticisms that a lot of these manifestation mouthpieces are sharing with you are completely in the wrong direction. So yes, you need to persist. Yes, you need to be consistent as best as you possibly can. But this is not about grinding yourself to the bone. This is not about hustling. This is about making a lifestyle change, right? We don't do fad diets here, okay? We do lifestyle changes. We're not going to microdose meditation and think it's going to solve all of your problems. We need to create a habit, a new version of ourselves who behaves in a way that is sustainable. Manifestation is not a quick fix. You're not going to erase years of trauma by just waking up one day and deciding it doesn't exist anymore. You have to acknowledge it. You have to listen to the cues of your body, understand these stories. You don't even necessarily have to know where the stories come from. You don't have to know exactly what wounds your parents passed on to you or exactly the moment of time where you experienced the trauma that gave you the story, but you need to know the story you're telling. And if the story you're telling today is one that glorifies struggle over abundance, ask yourself, is it helping you? Is it helping you to push and grind and call yourself lazy when you're not performing enough? Is it good for you to be perfectionistic in everything you do? Is it good for you to stress and struggle and worry about every action you're taking? Or can you just take it easy? What if we give ourselves permission to do less and still receive the same amount? What if you're working a job that just barely makes ends meet? Okay, it pays your bills. Maybe every couple years you can afford a vacation if you save up for it. Maybe you have enough to get your hair and nails done up nice or buy yourself a cute bag or a cute outfit on a decently regular basis. But you're not making like super luxury money, okay? Are you putting a lot of effort in at work to get that money? Do you feel like you're working really hard to get it? Do you feel like you have to outperform everybody else to feel as though you deserve that amount of money? Or can you say, you know what? $20 an hour only deserves this much of my effort and energy. I think I'm worth more than this amount of money, but because this is all you're offering to me, I'm going to give you $20 an hour worth of work. And you know, for some of you listening, like 20 an hour is like amazing money. But where I live, like that's the bare minimum. If I don't make 20, you don't have my time. I'm just not available for you. And that's something I had to learn because especially in my younger years when I was people pleasing, I would overwork myself. I told a friend this the other day. I'm tired of bending over backwards because if I bend over backwards any further, I can smell my own butt. Like, I cannot do this to myself, you know? I'm exhausted. I cannot stretch myself to appease others. It's something I did for a long time, and I thought, and I was raised this way. This is the thing. I know where my stories came from. My dad instilled in me that I had to work really hard and be really disciplined. And so I took that approach to everything in life. I had to work really hard at school and be very disciplined if I wanted to get good grades. I had to work really hard on my fitness and be really disciplined with my diet if I wanted to be healthy. I had to work really hard in relationships and love, and I had to outperform every other possible lady in order to please my person. And I'm so tired of those stories because guess what? That's not the case. I have been fired from jobs where I was busting my butt. I have missed out on promotions. Like, my coworkers have been promoted over me when I was working twice as hard. And you know why? Because why are they going to pay you more if you're already doing more than you need to do? Like, they're already getting a good bang for their buck. If you're making 20 an hour or less and you are busting your butt at work, guess what? They're getting a deal on you. And the same goes for relationships. Like, if you are in a relationship dynamic where you feel like you're the one who is always giving, you're the one who's always planning dates, you're the one who is always, giving your person gifts, you're always showing up for your person, and your person is not prioritizing you, they're not pouring back into you, they're not, feeding you and, giving you affection, they're not showing up for you, like, why are you the one who always has to go and meet them? And why are you accepting that? Because they're getting a steal of a deal. Like, they're getting a bargain. They do the bare minimum. They give you a little breadcrumb and you're like, sweet, I can live off of this. Instead of having a mutually beneficial reciprocal relationship where you both pour into one another, where you're both building one another, adding value to one another's lives. Like, doesn't that sound better? Why does it have to be so hard? Why does love have to be so hard? Why does money have to be so hard? Why do we have to hold on to and glorify this story of struggle and strife in order to feel as though we're worthy? And that's the real question. Are you still just as worthy of receiving that money? Are you still just as worthy of receiving that love? Are you still just as worthy of being that healthy if you don't work hard for it? Because the way you're going to answer this will make or break your manifestation going forward. If manifestation is feeling hard, it is because you believe you have to work hard to get your manifestation. That's your dominant story. And how I know this is for the first time this year. And granted, like, I had little glimmers all throughout 2024 and even from 2023 after I learned Law of Assumption. But really, really, truly, deeply, profoundly in 2025, the way I'm manifesting is so hands-off. It's so laissez-faire. It's so like, I'm not even stressed about it. If I need something, if I want something, I just trust that it's coming. And like in Islam, we talk about tawakkul, which is like faith. It is your faith in God to know that when you make a prayer, it will be answered. To know that when you ask, God's not going to test you and say, no, you're not working hard enough and you're not good enough. And you know what I mean? Like, that is not the relationship I have with my higher power. And that is not the relationship I would wish on anyone else to have with their God. Instead, if we could just believe already right now, you know what? I'm worth this. I'm worth this much money. And here's how much of my time and energy I'm willing to exchange for that much money. And I'm worth this quality of relationship. And here's how much time and energy and effort I'm willing to invest in this person. And here's what I expect to receive from that. And if I'm seeing myself as a healthy person, there's just things I'm not going to tolerate, And yes, there is a physical component to it. And our assumptions are so plentiful. Everything in your life and your reality starts from an assumption. So in some cases, it is easier to just hit the gym because your whole life, like however long you've been conscious to however old you are now, you've been conditioned to believe that eating right and exercising is good for you. And guess what? That assumption precedes that reality. So if you believe eating right and exercising is good for you, it must be so. That's how law of assumption works. So, it's not about ignoring the fact that we have these stories running and ongoing, and it's not about changing every single story all the time. It's about learning to be in a state of ease where you're not even worried about it. The stories that I tell myself that are no longer serving me, I trust that my God will open my eyes at the right time, in the right place, in the right way for me to make a new decision, for me to write a new story. I am now today the softest, most feminine version of myself, and I lament the years I lost in that masculine energy. I feel so heartbroken and sad for the younger version of me who just didn't know. She didn't know that there was a better option for her. She didn't know that there was a better reality. She didn't even know how much she was people-pleasing, how much she was self-sacrificing and self-abandoning for the benefit of the people around her. She didn't know how draining that was. And now I know, and I'm so proud of myself for making that change, and it wasn't easy. So just so you know, manifestation can be easy, but it can also be heavy. And in those moments of heaviness, we don't need to make them any more than they are. We don't need to blow them out of proportion. If you're having a hard time or a hard day or a hard moment, let it be hard and let it pass, and reaffirm that it gets to be easy for you. Life gets to be easy for you now. Manifestation gets to be easy for you now. Life gets to be worth it for you now because you are worthy of that much. I intend that this message was a gentle reminder, that it woke you up, that it helped you to rub the crispies out of your eyes and blink a few times and see the world differently. I intend that if you have not yet felt safe in your femininity, that this message will give you permission to feel safe in your femininity. And I know that hearing this will help you realize, will really lock into your subconscious that there is no glory in the struggle. And especially if you're a woman listening to this. Obviously, I make my content for women, but I do have some male listeners. But especially if you're a woman listening to this, know that you are not meant to operate the way a man operates in this world. You are made divinely feminine. And there is a beauty in your softness, and there is a richness in the way that you move slowly and intentionally. And there is a sexiness to being a woman that the more you embrace it, the more abundant your life can be. Don't forget, I do have the Cherry Blossom Challenge. It is an absolutely free challenge. We have 13 days of lessons. There are 10-minute exercises to go along with them to implement manifestation. Whether you are manifesting a health goal like losing weight or getting your summer body, or you are manifesting a specific person, either manifesting them back, manifesting them for the first time, whether you know them or not, or you are attempting to get your sweetie to propose to you, whatever it is, this challenge is for you. This is a 13-day challenge, so it's nice and short. There are 10 minutes a day that we're going to be invested in this, which means it is sustainable. This is designed to give you the habit of manifestation. It is designed to teach you that manifestation is part of your everyday life already, and here's how you can leverage that. Thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my thoughts. I fully believe that this message was something many of you needed to hear, and I'm so happy and privileged that I've gotten to share it and to share my life lessons with you so that you can learn from my mistakes, so that you can be a better woman every single day. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.